Hey guys, I got a Honda Odyssey 2010. It's been a great van. It's got about 125,000 miles on it. But recently I've done a little study on the VCM system and I've decided to disable it. I'm just going to go through the process of why and how I did it. All right, I'm going to give some credit to a guy at the end of this video, so stay tuned for more information. So what is VCM? How does it work? So VCM is simply deactivating some of the cylinders when the engine is under low loads. So when there's not a lot of pressure on it, it's not doing heavy pulls or anything like that. It'll deactivate some of the cylinders. The whole idea is to save a little bit of gas. It only engages if the engine is up to temp fully, and there's a light load on the engine. When it engages, you'll see the little eco light come on, and some of the reasons why I decided to get rid of it, or why I wanted to disable it, is when the cylinders are deactivated and that little eco light comes on, you can hear an unpleasant drone in the cabinet, and this happens almost any speed. So it's really annoying, and now that I'm aware of it, it's even more annoying. I can feel it run just a little bit rougher when it's engaged. I really don't like that. It seems like it's putting a lot more stress, or a little bit more stress, on the engine, and frankly, I don't think it's worth the stress on the engine if it shortens the life of that engine. You'll negate any of this gas savings that you got with the system. So for those reasons, I'm gonna go ahead and disable the VCM on this Honda. Ah, geez, I've got my next project. Hey guys, thanks for watching. My name's Dan Dunham. I love to work on just about anything, whether it's cars, electronics, anything mechanical or electrical. If it's made by human hands, it's fixable by human hands, and that's what this channel is all about. You can see my bench is a mess. I've got a ton of different projects going on, but there's so much information out on the internet that it's a great time to be fixing things. All right, so let's get right into it. The temperature sensor is really just a variable resistor that's on the engine block, or not on the engine block, but it's on the manifold, and it senses the temperature of the coolant. And as that coolant changes in temperature, the variable resistor changes in resistance. That then tells the computer system what temperature the engine is actually running at. It'll show up on the temperature gauge inside the van. And it also means that the computer can tell VCM to turn on or off when the computer understands that the engine is at full temperature. So to disable this system, it's really quite simple. What I did is to add an 84 ohm resistor to the system in series with the sensor resistor, the variable resistor, so that the computer system thinks that the engine is not getting up to temperature. You'll see a slightly lower temperature reading inside the van, but other than that, there really shouldn't be any other indicators that there's something going on with the temperature itself. The computer thinks there is, but in reality there isn't. Alright, so I'm going to show you how to get into this VCM system. This is one of the easiest fixes I've ever done. So just take a look at this video. This is how to get into the engine, or where the sensor itself is. There's two little screws on the top, and then there's a couple of posts in the back you have to pull up and then forward, and that whole plastic cover comes right off. Below the intake plenum, that big silver piece there, you'll see the sensor itself. Alright, so it's a simple 2-wire sensor. You can just pull it off by depressing the little tab, and there are the wires that lead to that sensor. There's only 2 wires, so it's a very simple system. So that's it. That's how you actually physically get to it. So let's take a look at the steps. The first thing I did was measured the cold resistance of that sensor, and it's right at 3.3 kilo ohms. So there's not a lot of current running through this sensor. You can use small resistors. You're not going to burn them up or anything like that. I used quarter watt resistors and they work just fine. Now you can do this with a single resistor, but as you can see in the picture here, I had to gang together several resistors, both in series and parallel, to get to the 84 ohms that I wanted. I didn't happen to have an 84 ohm resistor. If you have one or you can order one, that'd be probably a better way to go. So the next thing I did is simply snipped the green wire. You could have snipped the red wire, it doesn't matter. Either one, it's just going to put that series of resistors in series with the variable resistor in the sensor itself. All right, so I soldered those in place. I didn't use a mechanical connector. I'm not real fond of mechanical connectors for that sort of work. But then I covered it in heat shrink. I did not use electrical tape for this. I actually used heat shrink tubing, and I would recommend that. Then I stuffed it all back into that plastic sheathing and then taped it all back up and plugged it right back into the sensor. After I started the van up, it ran perfectly, and the VCM did not engage. So I'm really happy about that, and so far so good. This video doesn't really go into should you do this, should you not do this, what are the potential problems you might run into. Those are things you might want to check into on your own, and I'll put some links in the comment section. So there you have it. Good luck. It's an easy thing to do. There's some great alternatives to this. If you don't want to cut into your wiring harness, you can buy this as a kit from some online resources that I'll put in the link. And thanks for watching. Have a great one.